Hello, everyone, and welcome to another one of our Jerk Review podcasts, vlogs, video
We seriously need to come up with
podcast.
a name for this, what we're doing.
Yeah. You know what we're going to do? We're going to call it Welcome to the Jerk Review Talking Movies.
All right,
That
that's going to be
works.
our thing.
That works.
Yeah,
I like that. So
yeah.
here we go. Jerk Review Talking Movies. Happy days. So this is something I'm really excited for. I like this
I
idea, and I think it's going to go well. I'm very pleased
um
for this.
I know what we're doing. I just don't know
Hmm.
what films you've picked, so I'm in suspense already.
So this is the first in our series, which we are calling Franchise Wars.
Oh
Yes.
my god!
Franchise Wars, get in. So
Yes,
basically,
yes.
what we're going to do is we're going to take different movie franchises and we're going to pit them against each other in a sort of, to decide which one's better, I'd
Basically,
say.
it's like imagine if the fans of, let's say, Lord of the Rings met the fans of Twilight. How that battle would go down.
Yes, just massive movie argument. But I think this is the potential to be a great series. I'm really looking forward to this.
Yeah, me too. I think it'd be
It's
fun.
franchise versus franchise. Who will win? And then if it goes well, we might even end up trying to find our ultimate franchise.
Ooh, I like that.
I do like
I
that.
like that.
Now that
I
I've
do like
thought
that.
of it, I think that's an excellent idea.
Oh, we're blue sky thinking just as we go. Look at
Right,
that. So
so shall we start with our first franchise battle?
yes.
So we're going to see what movies are against each other. We have got The Lord of the Rings versus The Pirates of the Caribbean.
Ooh.
So this is
Straight
the
off the bat.
trilogy. We're not talking The Hobbit, we are talking The Lord of the Rings. So this is the
Right, okay.
Lord of the Rings
And
trilogy.
also, just to be clear, if we're sticking with the first original three for Lord of the Rings, are we sticking with the original three of Pirates of the Caribbean?
No, we're going for all five.
So 5 against 3 is what we're going for.
5 against 3, but it's all about that quality.
Right, good. Okay, I like that. Straight off the bat, I would say the fan base of the Lord of the Rings is probably stronger.
It is
If we were
more
to compare just the
intense
fans. Yes, because I
because The
know
Lord
that.
of the Rings has a book audience to fall back on as well.
Yes, whereas the Pirates of the Caribbean has a ride to fall back on.
But what a ride it is. But I
Yeah,
actually quite like that idea of it coming up from just a ride in a theme park,
I
which
agree. I think
turned
it's
into this movie
creative.
empire.
I think it's creative. I think I like someone saw that ride and went, "This is a film right here."
Exactly. And I think
Yeah.
it took off much more than anyone expected it to. Like anyone who made it, anyone who signed off on it,
Well,
anyone who watched it, it just became huge.
I have to be honest. I'm a big fan of the Pirates of the Caribbean, just franchise.
Yeah.
But although I would throw in there, I am a man who enjoys the Caribbean. I have been there. I do like sailing. I do like being in the sea. So for me, it's just like watching myself sometimes.
It does suit you.
It does
Right.
suit me.
So I think we'll start with Lord of the Rings. We'll talk through
Okay,
Lord of the Rings, then we'll move to Pirates of the Caribbean. We'll talk through that, and then we'll sort of compare them. Does that sound all right?
cool. Yeah.
So, Lord of the Rings, I was in primary school when these came out. So, this is year 2000, 2001, 2003, I think, Return of the King. So,
Yeah.
it's that sort of period of time. It might have been 2001 to 2003. I think they came out one a year
Oh,
because
did they? The first
they
three.
filmed all three at the same time, I think.
Right.
So, I think they
Um,
went to New Zealand in this giant, like, months long, almost boot camp,
that's worth actually
filmed
talking
it
about.
all.
The New Zealand setting became a big thing for them.
It's a
Like
massive tourist
boats.
attraction.
Yeah, that's right. It's become a huge place for people to go, and obviously the scenery in New Zealand is amazing.
It is
So it kind
the
of boosted their tourism massively just
Oh
from
yeah,
this franchise.
it was just the perfect scenery. Like, but everything was so planned down to the most minute detail. So it was they knew exactly where they wanted to be for every single thing. They knew exactly how the costumes were going to look,
Hmm.
how the dialogue would all interplay, how the whole thing would come together. It was really
So
well thought out.
so they filmed these three films almost in one go, and then released them as three separate.
I think that's what they did.
Which
Yes.
is I like that because a lot of franchises now they go film by film, almost like gauging whether they
Mm.
can get another one out.
Yeah, it's perfect continuity, which is rare in
Yes,
a movie franchise. It
yeah,
really
especially
does
one this big.
seamlessly flow.
Um, are you ready for my criticisms?
Okay.
I went and saw the first Lord of the Rings with my dad, and in all honesty, I didn't enjoy it that much. I liked the
Blasphemy.
battles. I liked the battles. I
Blasphemy.
liked what are those guys on the black horses? What are they called?
They're the Nazgul.
Cool. I like those guys. They seem cool. But look, if you're a fan, obviously you're going to love it. For me, as a casual watcher, and I always say this, I'm a casual watcher. I watch films for entertainment. I felt it was too long. I
See,
thought there was too much waffle, too much just bits added. You've got the elves, you've got the orcs. It's a lot going on.
there
It's a
is
bit of a
such
sensory
a
overload for me.
there's such a rich background to it, which was provided by the books, because J.R.R. Tolkien used to go into such detail.
Yeah,
So I think there was a lot to fit in, because even the first one, you have 9 main characters, really, the 9 members of the Fellowship, and they've all got to
yeah,
be introduced. You've got to care about them, because if Boromir is going to die at the end of the first, you need to care that he's died.
yeah, yeah. You need to be
And he
invested
really
into it.
does go on a journey, like his own, even as a side character, he goes on his own journey throughout.
Yeah,
Because, he loses his mind, he tries to take the ring, but then he atones for it, and then he
yeah,
falls in battle, like really has his own journey.
yeah.
And then you've got characters like Gollum, who really goes through his own journey through it.
Not
Frodo
a
and
fan of Gollum.
Sam spin-off. You don't like Gollum.
I don't like him as a. Can I say person? Is he a person?
You're meant to. That you're almost meant to not like him. He's this wretch that
Is that
you
the
can't
point?
get on side with. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it shows how the rings corrupted him and taken him down. But it holds up today, considering these are movies from 20 years ago. The effects hold up.
I
The
will
battle
give you
scenes
that.
hold up.
Yes, the effects on the battle scenes are incredibly well done to the point where you watch it now, it's still decent to watch. From that point of view, yes, I think they've done a really good job, and that's why I think it's become such a big thing, and why
Exactly.
people do enjoy it.
Yeah. I can tell that the police have come along to take you away for your views on Lord
Yeah,
of the Rings.
I do apologise for that. Not my fault. Just the area I live in.
He claims, I feel like this will be cut very short. If they just bust in and take you.
You might just disappear screaming. You know what's happened.
But no, I think if there is to be a criticism, it would be that they are long movies. It is difficult to sit through 3-hour movies.
Yeah. And I think because of that, it's not a trilogy I watch often. I think I've only ever watched them once throughout, and I wouldn't go back and watch them again.
See, I watched them repeatedly as a youngster. I came back to it. It just showed up on my TV and it had me hooked. And I was able to watch through the whole thing. I enjoyed it all. I enjoyed the
All 3
dialogue.
films.
Yeah, and I found myself wishing there was more dialogue at times.
Really?
And I found that the battle scenes were shorter than I'd remembered them being.
Right, so that's where I come in. I'm saying the battle scenes need to be longer than the dialogue, because the dialogue for me is worthless.
I wouldn't say worthless. Like, this is dialogue done well. When I think of a number of other action movies where dialogue is interchangeable and cut and paste, this was its own unique dialogue, and the characters stuck to. You believe every word came from that character that was said. No one ever spoke in a way where you went, nah, they wouldn't say that, or they wouldn't act like that. You were like, no, that does all follow through.
Yeah, I think from an artistic point of view, the story has been done very well.
And the camera work is incredible.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think I don't know how they managed to do it. I guess because they did it all in one go rather than every
and
few
one
years.
vision, one director.
Right, it flows a lot better. So, like you said, it's more believable.
And it is a labor of love. Like, you can tell it's a labor of love.
The director or for everyone involved?
For the director. I'd say for most people involved, but the director especially.
Who is the actor who plays Gandalf?
That's Ian McKellen.
Have you listened to anything he said about the film? Well,
In terms of?
Was it Ian McKellen who did an interview and he talked about the film?
I'm sure that's part of his job, is to do interviews where he talks about the film.
Oh no, sorry. Who's the guy who does? I know this is going to be a massive sidetrack, but I'll loop right back to what I'm talking about. The guy who played Dumbledore, not the original Dumbledore.
And Michael Gambon.
Right. Michael Gambon made a comment that he never really paid attention to what was going on in Harry Potter. He just turned up and did his lines. Like he was confused by the whole thing.
Well,
Do
that
you
might be
think?
something to come back to in another movie franchise episode.
Yes, but it brings me back to the Lord of the Rings thing. Do you think there are parts of it where it's just a lot of confusing waffle?
Not really. I find that I understand everything that's going on. I would say that the subplot of the elves, especially in the second movie, in the Two Towers, the elves
Yeah.
bit is just a bit dull.
Thank you.
And it's all condensed down to they really draw it out, and it's basically Arwen has to. She sees that she would have had a child if she stayed with Aragorn, so she
Yeah.
comes back and gives up her immortal life really to be with him.
Yeah.
But that quick thing that I said in 10 seconds, that was drawn out for a good 20 odd minutes in the movie.
Yeah. And this is what I'm
So
talking about. I
that
think there
slowed
are
it down.
parts of it. I get it, it's from a book, but you can never get a book into a film, no matter how hard you try, especially a book like this.
There are scenes that have been cut just to help the movie's flow. I'd say basically, as good as Liv Tyler is, the bits with her character in the movies slow it down, should we say?
Yeah.
The elves tend to slow this movie down, or these movies down, whenever it comes to them.
I think the elves could have their own movie.
Almost, but
Almost, yeah.
I'm not sure I'd be too enthralled with that movie.
No, neither would I. But I just feel like some elements of it they could easily cut and streamline it and make it a bit more watchable.
On the whole, I would say it's very well done and well put
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, the
Right,
production of it was fantastic.
Should we go to Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yes.
Right. Do you want to give your thoughts first, since this is your
This is this is
your
my
one?
Yeah. We're going through all 5, right?
I mean, you can talk about it as a whole, but yes, we will include all 5 movies.
Right. Okay. Let's talk about the whole 5 as franchise as a whole. This is a little bit like a roller coaster ride. It starts off amazing. You get to the top, you fly down, and you're like, hell yeah, this is great. And I think that showed with the fan base and the first 3 movies. However, it lost itself a little bit in 4 and 5. I think it sort of lost the momentum of the ride, and the character development was a bit poor. And it focused too much on the Jack Sparrow element at times.
Yeah, problem was they ran with their main character, like their popular character.
I think the Davy Jones character that Bill Nye played was excellent.
I did like Davy Jones, yes.
Yeah, I think they could have done a lot more with that.
I think the thing to notice is I've got all 5 movie posters in that. Jack Sparrow is at the front of every single one of them.
That's my point. I think, don't get me wrong, he played his character excellently, but there were also excellent other characters, Barbossa as well. They could have. I know they brought him back later on. I think
he became a joke in the. He was in all of them apart from the second, I think.
Yeah, again, he's another one they could have made a lot better use out of.
I remember the 4th one in particular. He was a joke.
Yeah. He's the way they'd done his face, because he was an admiral at that point, wasn't he? He was like a privateer, not a pirate by that point.
I think so, yeah.
If you know anything about history, the British used to give out contracts to. They weren't pirates, but they weren't soldiers either. They weren't naval officers. They were sort of got a contract to go out and do the bidding of the empire, and that was his role at that point in the film. But I don't think they developed it enough, and they just made him look like a joke, like you said.
No, I'd say that all the movies have at least one outstanding scene.
Yeah. Apart from the 5th one.
Well, the 5th one, there is the bit where they separate the sea and they're on the seabed and the sea is up, almost sort of like Moses part of the waters moment.
Yeah.
I do think that's a good section.
The scene that I loved a lot was similar to that, but in the first one when they're walking underwater.
Where they're just advancing towards
very cool scene.
British ship.
Whoever came up with that,
cool.
I thought that was excellent. That was really good and really well done.
I'd say arguably, potentially the best scene from all 5 movies comes in the 4th, which is the scene where the mermaids attack.
Good. I like that too. The mermaid scene was also very well done. I think they turned the mermaids into something a little bit more sinister
In terms of what was generally quite a sloppy movie, that was such a scene. Like they
Yeah,
really built the tension, you felt the
yeah,
danger, and then there was the
yeah.
chaos as it all ensued. It really,
They,
really
they,
well done.
yeah, I think they did a really good job of that. On a personal note, the movie also matters a bit more to me because some of the, I think, I can't remember which films exactly, where they filmed a lot of the scenes on one of my university campuses in London.
I did
And
that.
yes, they did. And I actually, well, I won't say meet, but I did get to wave and see Johnny Depp in full get up gear when he was going. So that was fun for me. Um, that's my claim to fame.
Well, there we
I,
go. Once in a
I
lifetime
saw,
moment.
yeah. I think it was the same year where he went and saw some kids in hospital as Jack Sparrow
Oh, yes.
in
I think
London.
he
It
used
was
to
the
do
same.
that a lot.
Yeah, when he was in London to do that, he did that a lot.
Mm.
But no, the film. I think they could have done better towards the end. The last
Well, the one
two, three
thing I
movies.
would potentially contend with them is that out of the 5 movies, only the first one is actually a great movie.
You know what? I think I'm going to have to reluctantly agree with you. I think the first
That
one is
would
the
be
one.
my contention.
It's the one I could watch again and again and still enjoy. The others I'd have to be in the mood for, if that makes sense.
I think that's true. Whilst 2 and 3 go nicely together, 2 I'd say is a very good movie.
Yeah,
3
David
they
Jones
sort
makes
of
that.
lost the plot. 3 they just tried to make it. I
Yeah,
don't know what they tried to do. It just got overly convoluted and complicated,
4 and 5 felt like cash cows.
and that's where they were.
Yeah,
So
that's what it felt like,
if we
which
now
disappointed
go
everybody.
into the actual battle between the two,
Yeah,
that's why I would lean towards the Lord of the Rings, because they are 3 consistently excellent movies which all seamlessly tie in together.
they are.
Whereas the Pirates of the Caribbean feels like one movie with 4 add-ons.
I think I'm going to cut it closer. I feel like you're right that the Lord of the Rings is a better quality production. However, I feel like I enjoy the Pirates of the Caribbean more. Lord of the Rings for me is more the snooze fest. I have to
See,
be
that's your
really involved.
personal choice, but I
Yeah,
also feel
absolutely.
like the action was better in Lord of the Rings than Pirates of the Caribbean.
You know what my least favorite part of Pirates of the Caribbean was?
Go
That
on.
speech that the character's called Elizabeth Swann, but I forget the actress's name.
Keira Knightley,
Right, that speech she made in
the third one,
third one was atrocious to the point where I couldn't take her seriously.
where she addresses all the like pirate kings.
Yes, I
Yeah.
can't take her facial expression in that seriously at all, in no way. And because of that, I'm going to have to give it to Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. So there we have it. Our first movie franchise war, and the victor is Lord of the Rings. And
Yeah,
I'd say, yeah, I
I
think.
think on balance, it is the better. Like I said, it's the better production movie. You can argue about the storylines between the two for a long time to come, but
I
the
don't think too
production.
many people would contest it either. I don't think we've been
No,
controversial here.
no, I don't think. No, I don't think we have. Like I said, from my personal point of view, I enjoy the Pirates of the Caribbean story more. I just wish they executed it better. But the Lord of the
Yeah.
Rings has been executed so well, you can't really argue with it. And of course, it's backed up by books. It's a novel at the end of the day. You've
Yeah.
always got the literature behind it to go
And
back to.
it has stood the test of time.
Yeah, yeah, it does, and I think it'll continue to do so
Excellent.
for more
Right.
years.
I love this idea. I love franchise wars. Bring on the
Excellent.
franchise wars.
I think we brought a lot to the table, to be honest. I do apologise for the sirens. I'm still a free man.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking we should probably wrap this up before you get dragged out.
Absolutely. All right, that was good.
But please feel free to leave comments on this. Let us know what franchises you think should be pitted against each other,
Yeah,
because we're more than
good
happy
call.
to do it.
Yeah,
I love franchise wars. Long
I
may it
do.
rain.
I do. It's the first war. I hope many wars come. Franchise ones.
Just franchise wars, yes.
Just franchise wars.
Excellent. Well, congratulations, Lord of the Rings, and thank you for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and we will see
you later.
you soon. Bye.
Bye.